Charl Arnoldus Cilliers was a Voortrekker leader and a preacher. With Andries Pretorius, he led the Boers to a huge victory over the Zulus at the Battle of Blood River in 1838. In particular, Cilliers led the Voortrekkers in a vow which promised that if God would protect them and deliver the enemy into their hands, they would build a church and commemorate the day of the victory as if it were an annual Sabbath day, which the descendants would also be instructed to honor. He was a prominent member of the Gereformeerde Kerk, an offshoot of the Dutch Reformed Church. He is described as being a short, stout man and was believed to have been very religious. He joined the Great Trek at the age of 35. The town of Untitled was, according to folklore, named after a horse belonging to Cilliers, which drowned in a stream where the town is situated. There is a Sarel Cilliers museum as well as a statue of him in Untitled. Numerous streets and roads in Untitled and throughout South Africa are named after him. Early life. Sarel Cilliers was born the fourth of 7 children in Schoonzit, Cape Colony, to Sarel Cilliers and his wife, Elizabeth Catherine Louw. In 1806 his parents sold Schoonzit when Cilliers was 5 years of age. From an early age he was well acquainted with working life on the family farm, as he would often help with pastoral and elementary responsibilities. In his early life, he also developed a strong sense of community and religious duty. On Sundays, the neighbors gathered together to hold services and Holy Communion. It was in his childhood that Cilliers' religious values and aptitude for spiritual leadership were first developed, as he was said to have had a personal encounter with God at age 10. He would often share his faith with other children and encourage them to worship and strengthen the bond with God. On the 6th of October 1823, Cilliers married Anna Francina Viljoen, the daughter of Christopher and Aletta Viljoen Boysen. Cilliers fathered 11 children from his marriage to Anna. During his younger years, Cilliers was of a slim build, and it was only later in his life, around the time of the Greek Trek, that he became stouter in appearance. The Great Trek. In 1829, the Cilliers family moved to New Hantum. In 1835, a drought hit the local area, and this led to Cilliers joining the Great Trek with his wife and 6 children in 1836. As he was convinced that it was God's will that he should go, Cilliers was made the unofficial pastor of the Great Trek, and he would hold services on a daily basis and give Sunday communion. During the Great Trek he became distinguished as a spiritual leader, earning him such names as the Prophet of the Great Trek and the Father of Dingansdag. In 1837, he was appointed to one of the 2 deacons of the First Church Council elected in the Commissioned Commandos. Renowned for his ability of boosting the morale of members of the Great Trek during times of hardship, he would often inspire troops through his recital of the Lord's Prayer during conflict. His skills of fortifying the troops were best displayed at the Battle of Blood River, where he spoke the famous vow to God on the battlefield, and held a thanksgiving service after the decisive victory over the Zulus. Cilliers' vow was celebrated as a national holiday in South Africa on the 16th of December until 1994. The vow. No verbatim record of the vow exists. The version often considered to be the original vow is in fact W.E.G. Lapsus California, 1962 translation into Afrikaans of G. B. Gardner's reconstruction of the vow in his 1919 biography of Sarel Cilliers. The official journal of the emigrant Boers' punitive expedition against Dingaan and his Zulus was published in South Africa on Friday, 14 June, 1839. The following entry for Sunday, the 9th of December 1838, cites the vows proposed by Andries Pretorius. Sondage 9 December 1838. Des anderen dags, zijn de 9e, was alles nog rustig en wij bleven hierover, om de Sabbath te vieren, terwijl ook de vorige zaterdagavond, in de tent van preacher.With de commandant, werd doorgebracht met zingend van enige geestliederen en krachtig gebt door de Heer Cilliers gedaan. Afval van die gelofte des zondagsmorgens, voordat de godsdienst begon, liet preacher.With de commandant degenen die de godsdienst zouden verrichten, bij malkande komen, en verzocht hen, met de gemeente te spreken, dat zy allen wel ijverig in geest en in waarheid, tot God mochten bidden, om zijn hulp en bijstand, in het slaan tegen de vijand, dat hij en de almachtigen en gelofte doen wil, om zo de Heer ons de overwinning geven moet, en we tot zyns groot naams gedachtenis te stichten alwaar het hem zal behagen, en dat zy ook moesten afsmekken, de hulp en bijstand van God, om deze gelofte zeker te kunnen volbrengen, en dat wij de dag der overwinning, in en berg zullen aantekenen, om dezelf bekend te maken, zelf zijn ons leest naar geslachten, opdat het der van God gevierd mag worden. The 3 morning services were led by 3 men, de heren Cilliers, Landman en Gilbert waren opgeruimd in het gemoed, om zulke horen, onder de elden hun gemeentens hierveren verkregen hun algemeen toestemming, toen hij en de godsdienst onderscheidelijk begon, om de Heer Cilliers dezelf in de tent van preacher.With de commandant waar. Hij begon met het zingen uit Psalm chapter 38 verse 12, 16, deed vervolgens het voorgebed, en sprak over de eerste 24 versen van het 6e kapitel uit Judicum of de Richteren, besloot vervolgens met het gebed, waren de belofte vermeld en God werd gedaan, en krachtig smekking, om Gods hulp en bijstand, in het volbrengen dezelfde. Word werd gezongen, de 12 en 21 versen van vorm. 38 Psalm, en hij besloot de godsdienst, door het zingen van Psalm chapter 134. Na de middag werd wedder en bijeenkomst gehouden, en men zong verscheiden toepasselijk versen, de Heer Cilliers maakte wedder en aanspraak en verringte het openbaar gebed, op welkwijs, ook het avond werd doorgebracht. On the 14th of June 1839 his journal was published as a bilingual leaflet in the Zuid-Afrikaan, Cape Town, Dutch original on one side and the English translation on the other side. The wording of the vow is, Afrikaans, hier staan ons voor die heilige God van hemel en aarde om gelofte en hem te doen, dat as hij ons zal beschermen ons vijanden ons hand zal ons die dag en datum elke jaren dankdag su Sabbath zal brengen en dat ons we tot zij zal opregwa dit hem behag, en dat ons ook en ons kinders zal shed dat hal met ons daren moe deel tot nagadagtenis ook over die opkomend geslag te, want die van zijn salve heerlijk word die Rome en die van o'erwinning en hem te English. Here we stand before the holy God of heaven and earth, to make a vow to him that, if he will protect us and give our enemy into our hand, we shall keep this day and date every year as a day of thanksgiving like our Sabbath, and that we shall erect a house to his honor wherever it should please him, and that we also will tell our children that they should share in that with us in memory for future generations, for the honor of his name will be glorified by giving him the fame and honor for the victory. Later life. After the victory at the Battle of Blood River, the Voortrekkers moved to Pietermaritzburg, and Cilliers moved to a farm in Welgevenden, about 16 miles north of Hoek in Natal. By selling timber from the trees on his farm he was able to make a good income. Cilliers served in the Natalia Republic's first House of Assembly. As a member of council, Cilliers played a large part in the creation of the Covenant Church in Pietermaritzburg in 1839. In 1843, after the British annexation of Natal, Cilliers withdrew from political life, maintaining an important role as an elder of the church. In 1847, Cilliers sold his farm and moved to the Orange Free State. Here he settled on the farm Dormkloof in the Lindley district, where he allegedly built his homestead single-handedly. His wife was buried here at the time of her death in 1852. On the 15th of May 1854, he married Aletta Elizabeth Lutz, a 33-year-old widow with whom he had one son. During the final years of his life, Cilliers was often ill. He died on the 4th of October 1871 and was buried in the Cilliers family cemetery, in a grave marked by a simple tombstone and later a monument. Legacy, as well as numerous public places such as Sarel Cilliers High School, and the Sarel Cilliers Wagon Wheel Bridge being attached to Cilliers' name. He is also well remembered by South Africans as a spiritual leader who was thought to have lived in close contact with God, and lived by the principles of his unfaltering faith. Although he is most famously remembered for speaking the vow at the Battle of the Blood River, he was, in addition, an important progenitor of the early Dutch Reformed Church in South Africa. He is also seen as an exemplary example of a devout follower of his faith. He believed firmly in his religion with the utmost conviction, as best seen through his vow. He is remembered as being a constantly determined, principled, and often selfless individual, shown through his ability to endure hardships to serve others in need. Overall, he is seen as an important public and cultural figure who played an important role in Voortrekker history, the early history of Natal and the Orange Free State. The Cilliers name. The progenitor of the Cilliers name in the region was a French Huguenot refugee named José Cilliers from Orléans, France, who arrived in the Cape of Good Hope in 1700. Other variations of the name include Cilliers, Cilliers, Cillier and Celia. Literary accounts. G.B.A. Gardner wrote a biography of Sarel Cilliers in 1919, which includes details of various events in his life and a reconstruction of the vow. Gallery.